Hello everyone, I'm Laszlo. I'm racing the Super Race Series here in Europe. My native language is not English, so sorry for any problems with that. I own a Polaris Pro Air 23. We have added already a newer differential, and now I'm making my first maintenance, and I want to share any information because I was not able to find any relevant information about the bearings, about supplying parts, because here in Europe it can be a big problem to supplement some parts or getting parts in the future. Okay, so firstly I show you the table, what I summed up, what the front newer differential needs, bearings and seals. The seal, the input shaft seal, is in imperial units, but it nearly converts to metric units, 30, 50 to 10. It can be used, I think, if it's a problematic, but cannot be, they cannot supply here in Europe in Vitong or any better seal type, only just the normal seal type, what is good for 100 Celsius. Sorry if I'm saying like SE units, but I'm from Europe and I'm used to that. So firstly, I want to go over I want to show you. Okay, if I'm getting this whole thing apart, the first problem used to be this pin. I really hate this pin, but it's out now, so it's okay. I want to tell you about the maintenance and also want to hint some things about what I don't really like about this differential and what would I change and what the problems what I see and what parts can you get for it cheap even if you cannot get parts from the Polaris dealer. Okay, the first thing what I really do not like about the input shaft is that it's not one piece. There is a plain bearing, if you see it, that is going to the shaft. From the front, here is a needle bearing, but is bad in the catalog. Possibly it's a good part for the older type differential, but it's bad. It's simply bad for this. It's bigger diameter, and as you see, the whole thing, the whole differential is jiggling around. Here is the selector ring. This is for engaging the 4x4. Here is one bearing on the input shaft. This thing looks good. After that, there is a support from this side, this plain bearing. This big bearing looks pretty bad. It has a lot of side play, and also the needle bearing that used to fail, as I heard from my friends, had a little bit like side play and is better to change. I also heard from somebody that somebody is putting a plain bearing here, but I do not think if it's a good idea. Possibly it would be better if we are always like racing in 4x4 to make the shaft from one whole piece and put real bearings here, and also we could use like a plain bearing at the end, like in the rear differential, just to make some support for the highest loads what it's getting. So for reference, the first, here is a seal in the input. This is the seal number, what I already said, the dimensions. After that there is a bearing. This is 6006. It's like open. It means that it has no seals on it. It's a normal ball bearing, deep groove ball bearing. Here is this bushing or plain bearing. This can be a problem to get, but I found that this bearing is like 14 millimeter, 16 millimeter to 15 millimeter. What can be like KU 14, 15 or something else. Also, there are a lot of like possibilities to get this, but this is a standardized. Here in Europe you can get this bearing. I bought a lot from that. It costs like €1-2, $1-2 in the US should like cost, and in a normal bearing shop I was able to get like 10 pieces with no problem, and they said to me that they had like 150 pieces, so it's not a problem to get. After that there is this bigger ball bearing. This is a deep groove. This is a 6307. It's also open. It has no seals. And after that there is this problematic needle bearing. What in the catalog is referenced like different numbers also for the newer types. Possibly it's a good needle bearing for the later, like for the 22 models. It can be the G98, but it's much smaller than this bearing. This comes here, and this should be the factory bearing, coil. The factory bearing is coil, and you can see it's a B128. Okay, I was able to get this bearing exactly like coil. It's a direct fit. It was like 8 to 10 euros, something like that. It's not much. I think in the catalog it's much worse. Something to add. When I was like disassembling this thing here, this nut was a little bit loose. It's using some kind of Loctite. I think it's like blue Loctite, because I didn't need heat, or even it's like come apart like on itself. But it was a little bit loose. This thing is held together in the housing here. Here is the housing. Here you can see a thread. It's holding here with this piece. You can see I made my own tool, as I can weld. I have a machine shop at home, a little bit like I have some turning machine and mills and everything, and also I can weld on aluminum. This was the easiest solution for me to put this out. Somebody used to tell that also this ring used to come loose, and you have to take attention, it's a left hand thread, not right hand thread. Okay, so the actuators, like here is the actuator, the electromagnetic. This is the shifting fork, and this actuating that. It's turning on or turning off. This is the 4x4. This one is for front differential lock, and it actuates this ring, this locking mechanism, but used to be rounded. If you shift when you are driving, it's better to stop and let it engage, and after that to hammer it, because it can really make a big problem there, and you will have to like change it, or possibly can make a catastrophic differential failure, what nobody wants. Okay, so if you take it apart like that, your next thing, you have to pull apart the inside of the differential. This is a big problem here in Europe, at least. It's not a common type here. As I found, is the Torx Plus 45 bit what goes here, but here in Europe we don't really use it. The only source where I was able to get this was this kind of like set here in Europe. We are not really using Amazon and things like that. Here is that. It fits there. But before that, I thought that it's also not very common here in Europe, but at least we have this M8 RIBE. I don't know what does it mean, but it looks like it fits. And even closer, tighter fit. You see? It's left there. It's a looser fit. It's like more rounded or something. It does not have that kind of like straight. Firstly, when I wanted to loosen those scraps, first of all, you cannot really use, if you do not want to fail on the scraps, or if you do not really want to change the scraps, you should never try with normal torch, because it's not going to work. Firstly, I tried with this RIBE M4, but with no heat. This is the end if you use no heat. When I added torch, and I was concentrating more on adding more heat than adding more torque, I was able to pull it apart. Okay, so here is the internal part. First of all, we have like two bearings here. This one is, these two are holding the inside of the differential, the ring gear in place. And it's 6011. Here are the measurements. It's in the catalog. In some catalog for some years it's also like listed this bearing number, but if you really do not know the numbers, you should like cross-reference, like making like for the 20, 23, 24, 25 car, and sometimes it's written down, sometimes it's not. The main reason why I was pulling apart this differential, because I have seen some side play on the axle shaft, and this is exactly with this bearing what is here. It's a plain bearing. As you can see, I did not find any alternative. So, as I have a machine shop, I'm going to use this piece to make one for myself. Possibly I will make a little bit tighter tolerance, and we will see. I will keep you updated if it's working or not. Okay, so if you are able to pull it apart, it's like that. Okay, I'm showing you the screw. You can clearly see here is some kind of like Loctite. I think it's a permanent Loctite, so I bought 270 to fix it when I'm assembling it again. Okay, here is the output gear, as you can see. Here is where I'm gonna put the plain bearing, what I'm going to make, and here is the plain bearing. You can really see that it's worn out. So it's time to change because I'm racing and I really do not want to have a catastrophic failure and make things even worse. Okay, so inside here we have 4 those small gears, and those gears also have, where is it? Here, pinion gear bearings, 14, 16, 15 plane. So it's the same cheap insert, but we can get here easily. I'm just changing them, not a big problem. The problem possibly is that it's failing by design, but it's okay. So, and also the output seal is not looking the best. So this is the reference number for it, but I'm able to, if I'm not buying the original part, I'm able to get just like a minor part that is good for like 100 degrees. It's not the best. Oils. What I have found is like this motul oil, that's possibly good there. But I think I'm going to use this blue color motor gear competition. I think it's gonna make it very good. What I really do not like about this whole thing, that the differential is working like this. I need some kind of like support here. Okay. As you see, here is the oil level. You see that? And this bearing that used to fail. You see that? You see that? And also, I do not know how much like oil is going for those bearings, and I can feel on it that it's I think it's not good with this side play what I have. Possibly it's not seen on the video, but I can feel it. This one is better, much better, this new one. So I'm putting there. Those big bearings are looking like good. Isn't very much like play on it. So I would say firstly that I think the main problem with this differential possibly is not getting oil, and because of it's having like way too little oil on it, possibly it could like help a little bit to push in some oil with the breather, but I do not know if it's not gonna like push out into the frame. So one thing, and something what is having on the new differential is those 2 pins. I didn't found any part number for them, but what I heard, it's supporting because it's going here. Okay, and it makes a support for this ring gear. It's not exactly in place, so this is why it's not engaging well, but at high loads it's making some support. Possibly where I can see some place for improvement is not using like deep groove ball bearings here, and also the 60 series is the weakest deep groove ball bearing type. Like 63 series or 64 series are much better. They used to say that a bearing what has like the normal like load radially, it can take up like 50% of the load on the sideways. So possibly on paper it should work good, but I have some concerns about it, and as this front diff is failing, I think I should be like some kind of right. So I would add like roller bearings here, like it is in the rear, possibly to make this shaft like together, to put it together, making some kind of like different locking mechanism, because I don't really like this jiggle. You see, it's I don't think it's pretty good in machining for these high loads that is getting from this car. And that's it, I think. I'm going to assemble this thing, and I have to race next week. So here is the torch, what I was using. So I hope everything goes well. And if you keep watching my channel, this is my first video. I really do not know about Patreons and things like that, but if somebody wants to support me, then please feel free and write me some quotes or something, and keep updated about my channel. I hope that the new video is coming in a week about my race, and I hope it's going to be like successful with no problems with my car. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.